process of evolution of the universe in forming beautiful masses and wondrous living beings with marvelous characters. The same architect, the Almighty, has entrusted the production and maintenance of all human beings to women. Yet, the greatness of women has been understood so far only by a few who are really developed in spiritual knowledge. Even some of us might think, why only we talk much about greatness of women, why not men? For which Maharishi tells, I am not saying just to praise women. I make only such statements that cannot be denied and at the same time should not be forgotten. So there are some facts which cannot be denied and which should not be forgotten by all of us. To explain this in detail, we have our beloved senior professor, C. Satyamurthy sir with us today. Senior Professor C. Satyamurthy worked in Department of Space for a period of 5 years under Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Then he worked in L&T Limited and then as Managing Director of Fab Missions Private Limited, Bangalore for 30 years. Sir completed his Sky Master course in 1989 and rendering his divine service for the past 32 years. He is the Managing Trustee of Bangalore Malleshwaram Sky Trust. He is presently developing a residential training institute called VETRI, Vedath Educational Training and Research Institute at Hosur Tally Road, and it is affiliated to the World Community Service Center. I now invite our beloved Senior Professor C. Satyamurthy sir to deliver his speech on the topic Greatness of Womanhood. Be blessed by the Divine.
Be blessed by the divine. Is the volume okay?
Yeah, it is okay, sir.
And the screen is, the slides are moving?
Yeah, it's coming, sir.
Okay, nice. Then I will start. Be blessed by the divine. My pronouns to those who are instrumental in organizing the Zoom and those who are tirelessly working to spread the message of Swamiji in this period through Zoom, and those who are joined today to share the knowledge and experience of me and Swamiji's teachings. Once again, my pronouns to you and your parents who are instrumental and propelled you to come to this spiritual, to learn this spiritual knowledge in Sky System. With this, I start the subject, the greatness of womanhood. Human society is made up man and women. Both are responsible for the reproductive and well-being of the race. It is not possible for either men or women to exist without the other. But unfortunately, there is only a male-dominated society throughout the world. The women are treated as second-class citizens. This must be eliminated through education, training, guidance, cultivation, information, development, enlightenment, and a continuous effort. It is possible to achieve men and women to work together. Therefore, the simplified Kundalini Yoga to be practiced by both men and women, children above 15 years, and the family members also. However, some people are under the opinion that it is enough if the men are educated and women have the basic knowledge. and a woman need not be. If that is the case, I would like to tell a small story or maybe an incident told by George Bernard Shaw, a famous writer. One day, a beautiful woman approached him, Bernard Shaw, and expressing the desire to marry him. And he asked why. And she says, I'm a beautiful woman, healthy and beautiful woman. I can have a child through you, and that will be definitely beautiful and good looks, and your intellect. Then Bernard Shaw was answering her, if the child born with my looks and your intellect, what will happen? Suddenly she was taken aback, started thinking. So please understand. Therefore, men and women look on themselves as equal in all respects to have a happy and healthy world. So let us move on. Womanhood. Woman, thy name is mother. It's very simple. Woman is the energy aspect of the Lord. He gave his work to her. And she is a child from the ancient power, primeval power, and holds the key of this world. She controls the destiny of the children. We see in detail about that. She is the mother of Sankaras, Buddhas, and Swamiji, and Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who are all there, the great Mahans and Mahaneers. She is the mother. So a philosopher says the best thermometer to check the progress of the nation is its treatment of women. So what Swamiji says, Swamiji in his all books and the greatness of woman, a particular chapter and a book also is there. In that he says with all his experience, looking the world for going all around the world, and he says the respect of womanhood is needed. Injustice perpetrated on women. Equal rights to women. With all these things, Swamiji made a beautiful function in a near Wife's Appreciation Day. I think nowhere in the world people will appreciate a wife and then they celebrate her, the Wife's Day. So look at the mother when she starts her life. In Ruskin, you know what he says? Each has what the other has not. Each completes and is completed by the other. So all men are the gift of women and mankind. So now once she gets married, she just gives a birth to a child. Then she continues to give all her resources to nurture the child. The child grows. And the child grows, she gives all her intelligence, generations over generations, whatever she acquired to the present generation, what they need, she gives. Yama niyama, all those things being fed to the child. And she lives for the child. Her life is dedicated to the children. Then she moves towards the old age. She takes care of the husband too, in all respects. And to summarize, the entire population the entire humankind in this world or the gift of woman only. Let us understand. If we don't understand and realize the worth of women and respect them, what will happen? But Swamiji also mentioned in one of his poems, the greatness of women becomes evident when the fact that all women and men are the human race, the gift of womanhood. Can there be a document or can there be a deed more than this or nobler than this? Beautifully, Swamiji says. A lot of poems he has written about womanhood, but that is all not there in English, but we would love to do it in English. But it is all, many poems he has written. Now let us see what are all the other sages and saints says about the womanhood. Swami Sivananda, who established the Divine Life Society in India, and he lived in the period, he's basically a doctor, and he lived a period between Sivananda Saraswati, lived a period between 1882 to 1921. I think or I made a mistake. Okay, it is right maybe. Okay, so even in those period, he was very much towards the development of the women. Women as an embodiment of patience, greatness, softness, sweetness, service, and ahimsa. The woman of India has preserved a spiritual character of our society. She is not weak, abala. She is dynamic, he says. And women are mysterious, mixture of softness, gentleness, and grace. She is compound of service, patience, and love. She is Maya, tempting charm and magic. She comforts and cheers our husband, children, and guests. Without her, home is void. Without her, man is helpless. Every one of us would have experienced. After getting married, if the woman goes to her mother's place or some other, leaving us, then every one of us, maybe for the few days we would have enjoyed. But afterwards, we will definitely have the helplessness. So without her, the world loses all charm. Without her, there is no creation. So women might the work of God, the wonder of nature, the queen of the home, the real governess, the sweet companion and helpmate of man. Sivananda Saraswati says, now let's see what Swami Vivekananda's quotes on ideal Indian womanhood. In India, women are the visible manifestations of God, and that her whole life was given up to the thought that she was a mother and to be a perfect mother. It is unfair to judge a woman, he says. In the Western culture, they are called as wife. In our Eastern culture, in India, we call woman as mother. In Hindus, in our culture, I just want to tell you, narrate an experience. See, in a family of two sons and a daughter, the elder son goes to get sannyasa and goes to Himalayas to acquire knowledge. After 25 years, he comes back to the village. When he comes back to the village, all the villagers are joined. No, the sannyasi, his son has come. Let's go and greet him, get the blessings of him. When the sannyasi, the father comes, the sannyasi, his son. Now the father will fall at his feet. Okay. Then next son, the brother comes, he falls at his feet. Then the sister comes, she falls at the sannyasi's feet, the brother. Then now the mother comes. You know what happens? The mother will stand, the sannyasi will touch the earth with their foreheads before his mother. So mother, respect, the mother's dues cannot be paid back. So that is why mother gets a priority. Mata, Pita, Guru and God. O India, forget not the ideal. Thy womanhood is Sita, Savitri and Damayanti and many more saints and sages lived in our country, one saintess. So our women are not learned, but they are more pure. Our women are not so learned, but they are more pure. Let us not forget this. Swami Vivekananda further quotes, the ideal womanhood in India is motherhood. That's marvelous, unselfish, all suffering she undergoes, but ever forgiving mother. She forgives all that sufferings. She simply forgives. The wife walks behind as shadow. She must imitate the life of mother. That is her duty. But mother is the ideal of love. She rules the family. She possesses the family and takes her to a higher level of knowledge and self and God realization. I saw this particular thing in his lecture in US. It was very interesting. That's why I just wanted to add this point. The girls or the women of India would die if they are asked to wear the dress, or they are obliged to wear the dress to expose their bodies. Is it not? So we have been born and brought up that ancient culture. Let's see what Bharatiyar, a great freedom fighter, a woman's freedom fighter, we just call in South India, we call him as a woman's freedom fighter. In the year, he was lived in 1882 or 1931. Like that. He believed absolutely not only the equality, but also the superiority of the female over the male. Bharatiyar and says, and in practical and world appreciates the remarriages for both gender in those days, in Britisher period. That was impossible. Like this, he made lot of things possible. Remarriages, the widow marriages, all those things. And many things he just helped the women freedom. I am anxious that a responsible man throughout the country should give most other serious consideration to this question of women's status in India and do something immediately to make the Indian womanhood free, enlightened, and really human. That is to say, divine. Then let me see what Mata Amirdhanandamayi, a great saint. Amma was made the first ever woman in UNESCO to chair on gender equality and women empowerment. It's great. Amma always says, women are mothers. And the mother is the first guru to a child. Inside the womb, the child is one with the mother. The baby eats, drinks, breathes through the mother, through the umbilical cords. Even after that, the connection remains subtly. So if mothers try, they can sow the seeds of goodness and culture in their sons and daughters. Swamiji explained this particular point in his Greatness of Women, how a mother molds the child right from the conceived and carrying from month 1 to the 10th month. Along with their breast milk, they can impart compassion, patience, selflessness, peacefulness, etc. Mother says, Mata Amritanandamayi. Motherly qualities like kindness, patience, adjusting, compassion, peace, selflessness, humanity are needed more than ever before today. These qualities must awaken in society, in both men and women, if we are to survive. Therefore, there is nothing a woman cannot do if she sets her mind to it. Today we can see the women flourishing in politics, social, and this time the MP is about 16%, 78 MPs, women MPs are there. Social and economic spheres. Anything a man can do, a woman can do. There is an astronaut, but women should always remain firm in their motherly nature. Then only her love and respect. In what Thiruvalluvar, a saint, says about the worth of a wife. Deivam tolal kolunan tolu toluval peyyana peyyum malai. The meaning is, even the clouds will obey and pour out rain at the bidding of a wife who prefers to worship her husband rather than any other god. Worship her husband or family or rest of the members in society. A virtuous woman who knows other gods, but her husband and family may command the very cloud to pour rain, and they will do so. So like this, there are many, but now we will move on to the womanhood in 4 stages: maidenhood, wifehood, motherhood, and selfhood, self-realization. In all these 4 stages, she develops love. Let's see one by one. The maidenhood. As a maiden, she is tender. Look at a girl in our family. A daughter is there, a daughter born, when she right from growing from the younger childhood to the adulthood, she is tender. She is timid, but also courageous and spreads happiness in the family. We are unable to talk to our fathers if the father is a little angry person. But a girl, she never bothers. She just goes. Whatever we want to get it done in the family, we normally used to get it through the girl child. So a maidenhood. In many parts of our country, the maiden is addressed as Ma or Amma. Even today we know it. So she is seen as mother goddesses. Move on to the next, wifehood. As she progresses or graduated to wifehood, she gets married. As a wife, through her love, she is expected not only to win over her husband, but also his entire family. She is an Aradangini, wife, half a body of her husband. You can see, Aradangini, half of, you can see the pictures, Shiva and Shakti. So in all religious functions, we would have all experienced, she is supposed to be by the side of her husband. She lives and sacrifices her life for the family, wifehood. Then move on to the 3rd phase of life, motherhood. She conceives and carries a child then she becomes a complete woman. At this stage, her love becomes selfless. She matures in all angles and all dimensions. We all would have experienced. All those things would have gone. She started loving their children and the family members. She is ready to sacrifice anything in our life, for the sake of children. Then she graduates to the fourth phase of life, selfhood. After having played the role of daughter, sister, wife, mother, and woman reaches the fourth stage and confront herself. Having done our duties, it is the time for introspection and ask the ultimate question, who am I? And let us progress towards purity, meditate, and realize self. The fourth stage is very important. When Swamiji, all religious people, they say, they develop the love in the earlier stages, the universal love, which turns to her to find her own self, and she becomes an universal self. All four stages she crosses. With all these things, Swamiji asks, is there equal right to women after hearing the womanhood, the greatness, everything, her sacrifice in life? Do women have equal rights? You all know it is not equal. In girls' education and many, many ways today, we find it's very low. Second-class citizens. Even you can see even in marriages, Swamiji says, Kanya Dana. See, Swamiji very clearly says, they are not an object or a commodity to give dana. So Swamiji says that word to be removed with the blessings. Give the hand of your daughter to your son-in-law. So Swamiji says, don't use the word dana. She's not a commodity. It is touching when Swamiji talks about this subject. Further, Swamiji says, men and women should follow what? Men should respect women. Having understood the concept, men should respect women. Now, what is the role of women? Women should realize their responsibilities because God has given His work to her, the Creator's work. She only to the continuity of the human race in this earth. She takes the responsibility of bearing a child, nurturing a child, giving all the knowledge, ability, etc., to the child. So women should realize the responsibilities and men should respect women. So thereby the life goes on. Then why this mess to women? Woman is neither inferior to man, nor she is superior. There are two different categories of humanity. They cannot be compared. The very comparison is idiotic. And if you start comparing, then there will be trouble. Look at the population. Almost 50% of women in the entire world. If women have been respected in the past years, humanity would not have been in such a mess as it is today. Because women are half of humanity. Half of humanity has remained. We have hampered, handicapped ourselves. We have destroyed the half of ourselves. And If we are in misery, then whom to be blamed? Look at the literacy rate in the rural India, 64%, out of which women is only 57%. Another 43% are illiterates. So, to development of knowledge, education is required. Swamiji insisting. Development of knowledge to understand. Today, we're talking through Zoom. A lot of things you read and write. Without the development of knowledge through education, the improvement, whatever the government says, whatever the benefits given, that cannot reach. So the literacy rate to be improved, we have to help. In the urban India, almost 75%, another 25%, even in the urban India, the cities to be developed. What is that we are going to do? Let's see. Swamiji says, injustice perpetrated on women should be stopped. All women should have equal assistance to decent work and employment. The gender equality should be maintained. Women are better leaders, being proved today in many areas, in banking sector, finance, and even in World Health Organization, these many areas. So let us not treat them as a second-class citizens. Let us give them equal status in religion, in marriage ceremonies. Do not use the word. We have seen. Do not use the word. Treated as, then let us not treat them as slaves. Female infanticide. Female children are killed. Is it right on our part? Child killing. Anyhow, they passed a lot of orders, but anyhow, it should start from us. The domestic violence is widespread, deeply organized, and has serious impacts on women's health and well-being. So this is what the injustice perpetrated on women that should be stopped. Let us see the domestic violence on children today, all over the world. Children who witnesses domestic violence may develop serious emotional behavioral development or academic problems. As they develop, children and teens who grow up with domestic violence in the households are more likely to use violence at schools. That is why you can see today, taking the guns and shooting the teachers, taking a knife and killing the teacher at school levels. The community is responsible. They perceived the threat. They want to give it back, the vengeance. More likely, the attempts of suicide. If they cannot do it, they commit suicide. And more likely, they started using drugs. And more likely, commit crimes, especially sexual assault. You can just go and see all the railway stations, the orphans. You just ask every child who comes to the railway stations loafing around, loitering around, are only the orphan children. So more likely the use of violence to enhance their reputation and self-esteem. More likely to become abusers in later life. So let us not fight in presence of children. Swamiji says, let us not, in the harmony in family, he says, let us not, men and women, let us not fight in presence of children. Let us not shout at our elders. Let us behave with our elders. Let us not look down upon our elders. One day we are going to become elders, aged. So let us not forget how we behave in presence of the children. They will behave like that in their later life. So the need for empowerment why there is a need for empowerment, what women do, and what woman has. Family care, domestic work, these are all women can do. Agricultural production, they participate. Most of the rural area, they participate. Income generation done by them. Today, the women's group, lot of things, women are generated millions of rupees. The management of household food security and natural resource management, the women today they are doing it. And what is preventing them for development? What they expect us to do it, or what they don't expect, what we are supposed to do it. What Swamiji says, or generally 2% of the land they are the owners, and the rest all the men. 5% extension services, 15% the maximum parliamentary seat, and that is what we are seeing. And marginal access to formal credits. And this year the parliamentary seats are only 14%, 78 MPs out of 42, 542 in Lok Sabha, and 10% in Rajya Sabha, 24 out of 224 seats. But 30% they are expected. But okay, let us all help them to understand, give them their freedom to join in politics, let them help with their love and compassion, and less education. We should help them in the educational field, and they have only fewer rights. We must give them more rights to develop a balanced society. So that is why the empowerment of women is needed to balance the society. So what the United Nations talks about women empowerment. According to the United Nations definition, women's empowerment have 5 components. Woman's sense of self-worth. What is she? The God-given gift, love, compassion, etc., etc. Health, intelligence, strength, etc., etc. Right to have, to determine the choices. But today, she cannot. Her choices are mostly by the male-dominated society. Right to have access and opportunities and resources. That is not there, but we should develop it. So the right to have the power to control their own lives, both within and outside the home. The ability to influence the direction of social change, to create more social and economic order, nationally and internationally. That is what the United Nations is looking for towards the empowerment. Their programs are more towards these 5 components. If we fail to do it, what will happen? I just give you a small example. I was surprised to see this, a Gulabi gang in Banda district in Uttar Pradesh. See, if you don't help them in the right time, whenever they need the rights, the basic rights, if you don't give, because you treat them as second-class citizens, no more they tolerate and wait. And is, the Gulabi gang, it has been active across North India, both the streets and local politics. The group consists of age between 18 and 60-year-old. They formed in the year 2006 to respond to lack of police support for the victims of domestic violence. And they also they have not supported the child marriages and protected dowry and female illiteracy. They also earned a Godfrey Phillips Bravery Award for the social bravery offered by Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Delhi. So let us not give them a chance to make further more gangs to get their rights. So it's something like a wheel. A family is like the periphery of the wheel. Woman unites a family. All the folks, or the brothers, sisters, and all the rest of the family members, the outer periphery, the rim is the family, and these are all the sister, brothers, whoever is there in the family. The hub and the axle which supports the whole wheel to move the family to have a balanced rotation. The axis is very important. So women are like an axis. If the axis goes, the whole wheel will fly away and the whole family will get shattered. Everyone would have experienced in a family, the woman dies at the early age. You can see the pathetic situation in the family. And Swamiji says it is something like the different colorful flowers are united by a thread. The thread is like woman. She does that work. So women unites the family members. It's something, an interesting thing. The latest science says male and female brains are wired differently. The scan reveals the women's brain, you can see the right and left hemisphere crisscrossly it is wired. The left and right side brain. Women's brain are suited for social skills, memory, and making them better equipped with multitasking because of this crisscross wiring between the two hemispheres, the right and left hemisphere. But the men, you can see, it is less connected. It is all connected in right and left brain separately, individual hemispheres, confirmed to individual hemispheres. So that is why men's perception and coordination, they are different from women. So they have the multitasking capacity, skills, and memories. So this is what for you to just to understand. And women, or working women, they have, you can see all these things, they have a multitasking capacity. Working women today having the advantage over men, the multitasking. As a mother, neighbor, chauffeur, entrepreneur, volunteer, therapist, blogger, teacher, what not. Unbelievable. You all know about it. I don't need to explain. So what Swamiji says, the husband and wife, the society in which only one half men has been spiritually inspired and guided is like a bird flying with only one wing. If a bird flying with one wing, it just cannot move forward. It will fall. It will die. Stagnation. The life cannot move further. Life, self-realization, God realization, impossible. So the two wings of a bird is like husband and wife, male and female. He can hardly move an inch forward. It's only both men and women, the divine life. So both will be able to march with bold and gigantic strides to great goal, God and God realization. To achieve this purpose of life, men and women must practice spirituality. If men and women must understand the cooperation and coordination required in all walks of life. See, you can see another picture, the boat. The rows of the boat should need to be synchronously played. Coordination and cooperation is required. Both the hands. If there are multi rows, coordination and cooperation with all of them are required. That is why they sing a song. So they put, those who put the cooperation and coordination with all the man sitting in the boat, they will only come first. So if one row is missing, then the boat will be rotating on the same place. No movement further. So the stagnation, the God realization is impossible. I would like to tell a few stories, and inspiring stories, what I read. A mother and a son The son helps the mother in all domestic work, and she is also a domestic servant. He also goes with mother and helps in all her domestic work in different places. And he goes to school also. In the process, he goes late to school. The principal or the teacher understood. They said, okay, don't worry, child. Then they help him. But the friends influence him one day. Hey, you work with your mother. Your mother is not working freely. She gets money. Why don't you ask some money from your mother so that we can enjoy life? The, the boy gets worried. Oh, what if these people are telling me? They are influencing me. So one day after their influence, he fall a victim. Instead of asking her mother, he wrote a letter. Mother, I work in all respect with you. Then I need you to support. In all respect. So give me some money for my expenditure. Mother, after reading that letter, she wrote a letter. She don't want to reply her verbally. She wrote a letter. Oh, my son, I gave you birth. Continue to help you to grow your level of consciousness. When I even go to work, I carried you. I gave you the entire my life to you. Even I don't have food, I fed you. With all these things, today you are. I don't expect anything for the love and care to bring you up to this level. She wrote a letter. She put some rupees, whatever he asked, put it in a cover and kept it and gone. After returning from the school, the boy took that cover, saw the money, he was happy. Then there was a letter too. Just gone through the letter, the boy shattered. He searched, got the mother, fall at the feet of her mother and said, Mother, I'm sorry, I never realized. So another story, very interesting. What is the name of the angel? It is a dialogue between a child and God. The child, when inside the mother's womb, always talking to God, enjoying the presence of God. Whatever he wants, he kicks the mother, mother cannot. Then he talks to God, God gives us and giggles, whatnot, tells jokes. That is why the child laughs and smiles and different phases you can see. Then one day, the God says, oh, enough is enough, child. Now it is the time for you to go to a new world. Oh, you are sending me to a new world? Yes. Where is it? It is earth. Oh, then if I go there, I cannot talk to you. No, you cannot talk to me. Then whom can I talk to you? Whom can I talk? Whom can I tell all my problems? Don't worry, child. I will give you an angel who will take care of you right from your birth till her last breath. She will take care of you. Oh, is it so? Okay, then I'm ready to go. Hey, wait a minute. What can I call her? You call her Amma. As soon as you just get out of this place, you cry Amma, she will take care of you. So the name of the angel is Amma, mother. How beautiful it is. Then we'll go to another story. Mother's 8 lies. It is between a son and a mother. And the son was eating. They were started eating. Then the son asked, Mommy, you also take food? No, I'm not hungry. First lie. She used to wait for the son to finish whatever he wants. Then that curry made on that day was so tasty. The son is asking, Mommy, this curry is so tasty and very nice. Please have it. No, I don't like that curry. She likes that curry. She tells the second lie. Then at the end of the day, the child was studying late night. Mother, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. You're also doing a lot of work, matchbox, and then the batti, the incense sticks rolling, lot of things. Apart from your domestic work at the late in the evening for more money, you are working. Are you not tired? No, I don't feel tired. Third lie. Then the son goes to the examination all on a summer day, looks at the clock. Ooh, he will come out of the examination. It is very hot sun. She prepares a buttermilk and runs towards the school. It is 1 o'clock, hot sun. She sweats. Then as soon as the sun comes out, she opens the bottle and gives her, please take this buttermilk. It quenches your thirst. The son while drinking the buttermilk, he asked the mother, Mother, you don't feel thirsty? Take a little. No, I don't feel thirsty. Fourth lie. Then after some days, when time goes on, the father dies. Then he looks at his own friends, when the school and colleges, they are getting married, their fathers are getting married, second marriages. Then he also asks his mother, Mother, don't you feel like getting married to have a support? No, I don't feel like getting married. Even though she wanted, but she don't feel like getting married. The fifth lie. Then he just got his degree and goes for a job. Then one day he just writes a letter or talks to mother. Mother, I have enough money. Do you want money? Shall I send you? No. I have enough money for my survival. A small living, simple living. I don't want. Please, you have it for your future. This is the sixth lie. Even though she need money, she borrowed money to send the son for higher education. She will say, I have enough money. That is the sixth lie. Then what is the seventh lie? Then he gone abroad and studying, and he came to know that mother was suffering some disease. Then he is asking, Mother, are you happy now? I heard something about you, about your ill health. Then she says, I'm happy now. Don't worry, son. You please live and lead a happy life there. You are in a different country. Please take care of yourself. I am happy here. Even she don't want to convey her cancer problem to her son. That is the seventh lie. Then he came to know her mother is suffering, almost in the deathbed. Then he just talks to a mother. Here, a lot of hospitals are there. It can be cured within no time. Please come. I will come there and take you. No, son, I don't feel pain at all. Then she dies. He rushes towards the village or wherever it is. Then she misses the angel. So, mother, that is the 8 lies most of the women, they say. So, she is an angel all the time. So, let us see the cultured femininity. See, the cultured femininity is there in our culture. They are civilized. They are intellectuals. Femininity. Generations in the history. Let us see the language we talk, a mother tongue. The country we live is motherland. Look at the way in which they respect the women. The earth we live is Mother Earth. River named after women. Goddesses are women. Education, Kalaimagal. Wealth, Lakshmi. In forest is Vanadevatai. And in time we call her as Kali. And here, I just put these 2 pictures. If you can find a difference, is fine. Otherwise, I tell you, this is Saraswati. Normally, Saraswati, when they draw a picture, Saraswati is always sitting on a rock. This is the right way of doing a picture. If she sits on a lotus, like Lakshmi, she will also washed away with the water and river flow. So, but when you get education, that remains. But this wealth, that goes away. So when you see in any calendar, you just remain. Saraswati normally has to sit on a rock, and Lakshmi is supposed to sit on a lotus on a water. So when the goes, then the wealth goes, but the knowledge remains. So the creative ways to help the womanhood today, making documentaries. See, documentaries we should make to show the mindset of women before and after the crime, any crime, whatever it is, and moral messages about women and respect they deserve. These all, what we must do, we must make documentaries, give them, put them in our technologies, TV, wherever it is, send them. So let us educate the rest of the people in the world. The documentaries will help us. It's a very powerful tool. The point number 2, the teaching kids is important. Boys from early age should be taught the importance of respecting other gender with the documentaries in schools. If we do that, the crime rates will disappear, and the way in which all the schools and colleges children are using all the drugs and liquors can be avoided. By that, womanhood is hurt. So let us try teaching our kids right from the early age, from the schooling level, through documentaries. And we should have more campaigns. Many campaigns have to be started, have been started by women for women. However, we truly believe, Vedatrians believe, that man should initiate campaigns for ensuring that they play their role in the society and make every woman feel respected and cared. We as men find happiness in giving women the love and respect they deserve. So let us follow this. Finally, the women empowerment. Basically, women empowerment is something that should happen within. Mata Amirdhanandamayi says, in a recent talk, The Woman Worth in India Today magazine, March 11th, I happened to read this. So I just want to say this message of mother. Basically, woman empowerment is something that should happen within. So that sky system will help. Meditation, introspection will definitely help. Sublimation will help. Women, that should happen within. In truth, women are really powerful. And what mother says, this Lalita Sahasranama, the divine mother is described as Icha Shakti, the power, Jnana Shakti, the knowledge, the Kriya Shakti, the action. She who owns the power of will, knowledge and action. The truth that the three powers are inherent in every woman. But many women have yet to awaken to that. Women are not helpless or weak. That's what Mata says. In our culture, we have the concept of God in the form of half woman and half men. Ardhanariswara. This shows that they very intellectually, very intelligently they shown, they depicted in our pictures and many things. They show that the completion comes when we have balanced our feminine and masculine qualities. But that does not mean that women should imitate men in their behaviors, mannerisms, and clothings. This is what is happening today in our culture. All these things to be changed. See, look at the mother says, women should not imitate men in their behavior, mannerisms, and clothing. And I just read this in a place where it was a very appealing. So a request from every woman to the rest of the mankind. The request is, I have only one request. I do not ask for money, although I have need for it. I do not ask food. I will manage. I have only one request. All that I ask is that you remove the roadblocks from my path. Let me repeat. I have only one request. And all I ask is that you remove the roadblocks from my path. Allow me for self-realization and God realization. So the summary, came to the end. Let me try to summarize. There is no chance for the welfare of the world unless the condition of the woman is improved. It is not possible for a bird to fly on only one wing. So men have more muscle power than women, but women have one muscle that make more powerful than man, that must be strengthened. That muscle is the heart muscle, the love, compassion. The responsible man throughout the country should give the most serious consideration to this question of women's status in India, and do something immediately to make the Indian women free, enlightened, and really human, that is to say, divine. So finally, we summarize. Women should be provided with an equal status at all costs. At all costs. The progress achieved by the women benefits to the nation as well as to the coming generations. World Community Service Center was founded by Vethathiri Maharishi for the upliftment of the women in the rural areas through the practice of meditation, introspection, and a process of edification. Every family should be provided an opportunity to study and practice Manavalakalai with the help, strengthen the mind, which helps to strengthen the mind, besides providing the ability to think and analyze for a happy and contented life. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you all.
Be blessed by the divine. Thank you so much, sir, for the excellent speech about the greatness of womanhood. As our Maharishi said, women are the true saints. They leave their parents, their house, their villages, and start living with people who are totally strangers for them. What sacrifice can they be greater than this? So it is our duty to respect every woman and live happily. And our professor has given some undeniable facts, and it shows that still we have to go a long way to show the greatness of womanhood in this earth. And we Manavalakalai, the aspirants are much better in those aspects, but the world should understand those greatness, and we have a long way to go on that. And our professor has given a much better view on that. Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful speech. Dear friends, now the forum is open for discussions. Please click the raise hand button in your Zoom app to ask your questions. While you prepare for your questions, we have few important announcements to make. In this COVID situation, please emphasize all your near and dear ones to learn and practice Kayakalpa Yoga. You can easily learn Kayakalpa Yoga from the safety of your own home. Please visit kayakalpayoga.edu.in or download the Android app. Our monthly journal Unboli is also available in Android app. Download the app from the Android Play Store and get access to the premium content of Swamiji speeches at a nominal subscription. Connect with us on Facebook and YouTube at Sky Yoga TV to listen to all the past speeches of our beloved professors for free. Karma Yoga principles of Vedatrium suggest donating 1% of our income to the good causes of society. You get more than what you pay as good karma. We invite you to donate to the World Commute Service Center either through the Unboli app or through our official website vedatri.edu.in. Section 80G income tax exemptions are available for these donations. Now let us move on to the question and answer session. Janaki ma'am, please unmute yourself and ask your question, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
Hearing from a man about woman always gives pleasure, sir. Thank you, sir. But why wouldn't we women control our tears for everything, whether it is good or bad? At first, I think we cry, sir. Why are we women so emotional than men? Is it nature? Why it is?
It is by nature. They are very soft and tender. So naturally, when you are become emotional, the glands which is connected to the eyelids, very closer to the eyelids, the facial expression, it just compresses and you cry. That's all. Women are so soft and tender. It is a nature. And what is your next, the other question, madam? Okay.
Nature means we couldn't do anything, no?
No, that's why. No, it is a plus point to you.
No, so sometimes
Yeah.
it puts us back, no?
No, it is not at
It
all.
makes us very inferiority about that. Why we always cry before men? That's the question.
Because you are more emotionalized. Quickly, you get emotionalized because of that. You get you are just the tears rolling out of your ears, your eyes. When you just learn all these spiritual practices, you become balanced. It will never come. Then Arulnidhi will not cry. Maybe the death of a close and near and dear ones only for such occasions. Rest of the time, if you practice spirituality, you will never cry. You will live and lead a balanced life.
Thank you, sir. Be blessed. Dr. Mahendra Prabhu, please unmute yourself.
Be blessed, very divine. Thank you, sir. Hello?
Yeah, I'm
Sir,
hearing. Please go
I have
ahead.
a question, a general question.
Yeah.
During menstruation period, women are not allowed to temple or they are isolated sometimes. What may be the reason, sir? It's like...
No, it is my personal view. Okay? In many occasions, they are inside the temple. If that happens, is it a sin? It's a creation of God. I will make you to think. Many women are tennis players and shuttlecock players in our country and many other countries. They put the fixer, such and such date you are going to play with such and such, game 1, game 2. Will they ask their period timings and put it? It is natural. All the women playing in sports, they simply forget it. So it's my view is, it should not be a problem in all her walks of life. In learning, understanding, wherever she is, it is not a problem at all. If she forgets it, things are over. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sri, you may please proceed.
சார் வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Tell me.
இப்போ நீங்க அந்த விமன்ஹுட்ல வந்து நான் 4th ஸ்டேஜ்ல இருக்கிறேன் சார். I am in 50 years.
Okay.
வெரி ரீசெண்டா எங்க பையன் எக்ஸ்பயர்ட் ஆயிட்டான் ஆக்சிடென்ட்ல.
சரி.
22 years old அவன்.
சரி.
இன்னும் 1 year கூட ஆகல.
சரி.
சோ இந்த மாதிரி நிலைமையில அருள்நிதியா இருக்கிறதுனாலதான் இப்ப சொன்னீங்களே வெரி நியர் அண்ட் டியர்னாதான் அது இன்னும் அந்த எமோஷன்ல இருந்து என்னால வெளியில வர முடியல. இருந்தாலும் அந்த மனவளக்கலை பயிற்சியாலதான் இந்த அளவுக்காவது இருக்கிறேன். இன்னும் ரெஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த லைஃப் எப்படி நான் லீட் பண்ணணும் சார்? ஸ்கூல்ல ஒர்க் பண்றேன்.
Understand. நான் குயிக்கா நான் இப்ப போய் உங்க சன் கூட பேசிட்டு வந்தேன். நீங்க சொன்ன உடனே உங்க சன் கூட இப்ப நான் பேசிட்டு வந்தேன். He is enjoying his life in the astral world or in a different world. Tell my mother not to worry. Let her lead a blissful life. Her job is over. I want to live and associated with my wife only those period. That is over. Ask my mother to live and lead a blissful life. Let us not cry and get attached. Understood? அப்படி நடந்துக்கிறீங்க, அவ்வளவுதான். நான் பேசிட்டு வந்தேன் உங்க சன் கூட.
நிஜமாவா சார்?
அது அப்ப நீங்க நம்பலன்னா நான் என்ன பண்ணட்டும்?
He is unmarried, sir.
Whatever it is, unmarried. அவ்வளவு பாருங்க. இன்னொன்னு சொல்றேன். A child lives in the mother's womb for only 9 months and dies. About to deliver, she dies. What the child wants to live in the mother's womb and experience in that period that lived in that mother's womb and then gone. That's all. You are not the deciding authority. The Almighty knows.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for patiently answering all our questions and sharing your insights and divine thoughts. And dear Sky meditators, let us all put our minds together to thank our professor. Please come to meditative position and keep your mind at Duriya Chakra. Senior Professor C. Satyamurthy sir, be blessed by the divine. His good health, be blessed by the divine. His loving family, be blessed by the divine. His divine service, be blessed by the divine. We wholeheartedly thank the following people who have generously donated to the World Community Service Center yesterday: Bhanumati Kumar, Asha Venkatesan, Bhaskaran, Panneer Selvam, Murli Krishnan, Gopala Krishnan, Sujita Krishnan, Saran, and Vetri Selvan. Your generous donations will go a long way in helping us to serve the society. May you and your family enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, peace, prosperity, and wisdom. May the Almighty and Guru showers everything. Be blessed by the divine. We are happy to bring the following online programs live from Alia Temple of Consciousness tomorrow. Morning 6 a.m. exercises in Tamil, 7 a.m. 9 center meditation in Tamil, 7:30 a.m. 9 center meditation in English, and tomorrow 11 a.m. there's a speech in Tamil on the topic Palikku Valividu by Professor Raman from Kumbakonam. Evening 6 p.m. Duryatita meditation in Tamil, 7:30 p.m. Duryatita meditation in English, and by 7:55 p.m. speech in English on the topic Unified Force by Senior Professor Dr. K. Perumal. Please share the program invite with your friends and relatives. Let everyone take part in this spiritual journey and get benefited. We thank our beloved President Padma Shri Arulindhi S.K. Mailanandan sir for his leadership and guidance. See you all again tomorrow. This is Ramesh from the Alia World Community Service Center IT team. Be blessed by the divine. Good night.